He's a phenomenal control player.
Goddamn him finally blue.
Hi. Joseph, thank you for 3 years of supporting. It's extremely based. Words cannot convey the baseness of that.
He's a phenomenal control player.
4 years, Pog.
Well then, for what do I say? The 4 years. Thank you, bros, for the continuous support. This year is gonna be a big year for Canister underscore MTG, I tell you. It's gonna be so big. You'll see so much big stuff. So, you know, the 5th or 4th one is gonna be crazy. You can take a quick look at the deck lists before we're gonna start the gameplay today. Plenty of results on Goldfish. Are the Moro deck lists working? They don't seem to be. Yeah, okay, so Moro deck lists are not there, so I guess we can look at the Trieste, SEGK, 20k RCQ top 4. I don't know what weight does this tournament hold, but 5k, 20k. So 20k sounds bigger. Was there an energy tournament too? Something like that? I don't know.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Maybe it was in Pioneer. Dr. Bill, thank you very much for the sub. Very based. So I guess we only have a few results to look at. We can take a look at 20k RCQ top 4 modern SEG Con, New Jersey, Saturday 10 a.m. Won by Is It Prowess. Is It Prowess? Clearly white mana appearing here. And that is because we see 2 Underworld Breach and also 4 Prismatic Ending, 1 Path to Exile on the sideboard. Alright. I think I like playing more Mana Morphos, less mutagen. No, there is 4 Mutagenic Growth in this deck. I actually misread. I was about to say that I didn't like 4 Mutagenic Growths in this deck because it felt like way too much air and way too easy to flood with that. So I think Mana Morphos for triggering prowess is pretty okay. I remember playing a list without Mana Morphos with 4 Mutagenic Growths. I'm not sure what happened here, how they fit it, but somehow they did, and that's... I feel smart.
He's a phenomenal control player.
17 lands is so few though. It's crazy. Mario, thank you for 2 years of supportage. Very based of you to... Everybody is hitting the round numbers, I guess, today. I don't know exactly why, but seems like January is just when you start starting to canister. Second place by William Thompson. That's the guy with the Gemstone Caverns. 1 copy only. The card Light Up. Not sure I played Light Up. But maybe... How would I call it? Prowess probably? Blue-Red Prowess Breach. A 2 Iconoclast, 2 Breach. I had Considers, which I don't have. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Consider also a nice way to trigger Prowess, but... Because I think you won Mythic Championship in a month of December. Well, but like, we've got, what, 2 years subversity, 3 years subversity, and 4 years subversity. And there was only 1 year where I won a tournament in December, but... Christmas money, that's a good explanation, yeah. Free subtlety, pretty large amount. I think subtlety is pretty strong of a card, and you're only going to see more of it as the modern format progresses, chat. That's why I initially gave it 5 out of 5 war canisters, I promise you. Mono white hammer. 22 lands, 2 springleaf drum. The hammer decks have so many lands, but I guess it makes sense. 4 of them are Saga, 4 of them are Clearing, 3 of them are Inkmoth, just lots of utility in the mana base. Rakdos midrange with Gix on the 4th place. What we've seen of Gix in the Vintage Cube was relatively impressive. Although on Vintage Cube it was mostly deactivated ability, which costs 7 mana, so it's not quite realistic in Modern, I think. Also much better in Cube, because your opponent has more powerful cards than they have in Modern. Evolve Sleeper? Wow.
Control player.
It's not even a scam
Smile,
deck.
smile, smile, smile.
Yeah, Gix plus Duffy Voidwalker. That sounds okay. But it's old style Liliana the Well type deck. Neravis, thank you for your 27 month streak. Smiley faces. Rakdos Scam, Rakdos Scam. All of the other good decks in Modern, they play more lands, and Scam is the one who's stuck playing kinda too few lands for its mana costs. So it's not actually reliably getting out of the black hole that it puts itself in when it scams on turn 1, just has no cards, and then you top deck Griefs and Furies that are not actually good anymore because you don't have 4 mana yet, 5 mana yet. But you can pitch them either. March of Sorrow, let's check what's that. Oh, March of Red Sorrow. Yeah, this is a bit puzzling, but Scam always be mulliganing. Fields need to be built better. I'm not sure if it can be built better. It's when I spent a little time on this deck, it felt like a little bit of an inherent issue, right? Because the Scam 3 on turn 1, you need Grief, Grief or Fury, a corresponding part, and a combat trick. And all of those cards are kind of bad. It's often outside of this situation. So you kind of increase your colored card count by playing more spells, and then you play too few lands to actually support hardcasting those. Reasonably the backup plan. You still get to do that often, but you know, you probably get to like hardcast your elementals in a strong way, like 50 to 60% of the time, rather than what you'd prefer to be 80, right? On turn 4. I see a lot of Scam turn 1, missing second land drop and Prage with deck. Yeah, exactly. Because you have 18 lands in your deck, plus those 2 of those, 20 lands in your deck, so you get 1 landers pretty often, and you just decide to keep them because they're kind of like good hands. But it's kind of flawed that then you're trying to use Seasoned Pyromancer to, you know, work your way out of that when you can't even pay for Seasoned Pyromancer. Like, I think Night's Whisper is great in this deck, except for whether Night's Whisper is good at all. Yeah, it is a catch-22, so I'm not sure if you can build Scam better. I think it's kind of perpetually stuck in this cycle. I think adding at least one land feels correct. My intuition was to just play full Malaki Rebirth because that just feels like it fits into the deck so well, but somehow people don't want to play that card too much. And when I tried playing with 4 Malaki Rebirth, it was also not super impressive in practice, right? Tapped land, not a swamp for Blood Moon, and a weak trick because you lose 2 life, you don't get a counter is a huge difference. Maybe it needs a 3 mana card besides Moon. Well, you probably don't want 3 mana cards. You probably want to ways to hit the second and the third land drop, right? But the way to hit the second land drop would be like a cantrip. What about Shatter School Smashing and Agadeems? You could do that. But they're both weak lands and weak spells, right? So it does not come without a downside. It comes with a pretty sizable downside. So yeah, I think building a deck, I think Duffy Voidogre is pretty good for being a 2 mana card that clocks fast after like you exchange all the resources on turn 1. Yeah, let's being able to pitch should lower mulligan percent, I agree. Just again, they're just objectively weak lands and weak spells, so you are putting weak cards into your deck. Which might be fine, but just have to know that you're doing that. Just have to be aware of that. This list, for example, does not even bother with playing. It just plays 20 lands, doesn't play Malaki Rebirth at all. It's free Undying Malice, free Feign Death. I guess midrange deck was interesting. It was somewhat interesting, yeah. Devoted Devastation. It's such a wonky name. Devoted Devastation. Any Luxior in the deck? No Luxior? No, there is a Luxior. Is this Saga? No, just Stoneforge to find Luxior, okay. Viridian Longbow, Batterskull, Caldra complete. 3 vials. I like main deck Burrenton Forge Tenders. I respect that a lot. Forgiver for 3 Burrenton to Forge Tender to just make your... Yeah, that's so nice. It's very good against Ragavan and just... You protect your Devoted Druids this way. Don't hate the deck. 4 Lair of the Hydra for the Infinite Mana Sink. It's kinda wild, but okay. Yeah, I wanted to play a league with Rhinos, but honestly, I think we play a league with that. Because it sounds pretty interesting, some interesting ideas. And Rhinos, you know, Rhinos won Trieste. But Rhinos is just kind of boring, honestly. Like, just objectively, this is such a boring deck. Right now, do you vibe more with Saga Grinding Station or no Saga, no grinding? I'm vibing more with the Saga Grinding Station deck. I like it a lot still. The new builds people are trying and playing, I think they're okay, but I don't vibe with them. It's like, it's a mid-range deck that does not suit up well against everything. Gendrek has been playing a version of that deck with Counterspell, and I think it does at least attempt to address that problem, but I'm not sure if it addresses it in a way that is satisfactory for me. In the Grinding Station deck, it has a combo for when you need a combo to win, and it's a good mid-range deck for when you need to be a good mid-range deck. And I'm pretty sure the no Saga, no grinding breach decks, they just fold if you play against endurance decks. Rhinos, for example, like 4 endurance. I don't know if you ever beat that out of them. You have no way to counter the endurance, so it's always gonna get you and it's gonna be so rough for you. To populate stream. No. You got some breaches and Rhinos fall to Shredder. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're not super reliant on the breach card. Yeah, you get to just not play it, so maybe that's a good point. So I have that flexibility, but I think like that just makes me doubt the Underworld Breach commitment being stronger than Merktide overall. Cause that's kind of what I do. Like I guess Rhinos like mostly keep Underworld Breach, so I can combo off, but as many decks I just cut the combo. I have some breaches. There's no DRC in the grinding station deck, which lets you not be exploited by that. So that's another point. You could take a deal that next 10 tournaments you end up 9 to 6 place with the deck that's interesting, or win at least 2 with the deck that is boring. What would you take? From the next 10 tournaments I win at least 2, but I play boring decks. Well, next 10 tournaments I'm 9 to 16. Well, I would take 10 next 10 tournaments. Sounds like lots of value. Alright, let's upload the devoted Druid deck. Yeah, 9 to 16 is a pretty strong record. So yeah, in this deck we have the Stoneforge to fetch Caldra Butterschool. Butterschool is definitely an old one. We have Luxor to combo with Devoted Druid, so that Stoneforge can fetch both Luxor to gain infinite mana and then Viridian Longbow to achieve infinite damage. We have Eladrami's Call to find Devoted Druid, to find Vizier of Remedies to get infinite mana. You can spend that infinite mana on either Walking Ballista, or you can tutor with Eladrami's Call. On Finally of Devastation, which is gonna plus X infinite. On Caldra and Butterschool, I guess, too. You can spend the infinite mana on one of the 4 Lair of the Hydras. We can yeah, there's plenty of overlapping stuff, and we have 7 1-drops which are pretty good at protecting our 2-drops. So overall this deck seems to make sense to me, but unfortunately I grade card to open with into Ragavan. Honestly, would probably want to play 4, but I guess you play against non-red decks sometimes, so you just prioritize Giver of Runes, and that sounds like reasonable thing to do. A little bit worried about 4 Lair of the Hydra with the Giver of Runes, maybe a bit, but as long as we don't keep one-landers and we don't draw a forest or we don't draw multiples, it's gonna be okay. And this is an infinite mana outlet. Urza's Saga is bad. Generally speaking, I would not say so. Generally speaking, I would say Urza's Saga is a solid card. Not sure what's the purpose of... What is it? The Bastion? I guess Bastion makes white-white with Skagla Apparition. Wooded Bastion is sus with Lair. No, Wooded Bastion is actually good with Lair. That makes sense. I mean, in this deck, considering you have Bow and Luxor. I think I remember playing this a little bit as an Urza Saga deck, and this is definitely an option. The player did not have it, and it does make sense not to play lands that die, and you have utility lands in the Lair of the Hydra. Is free Ether Vials a normal number, or is this a paper list and they were foil? It sounds like a pretty normal number to me. Like, it's not very common to play Ether Vial at all nowadays, but doesn't necessarily seem like 4 off in this deck strong, but I would not mind opening with it. Urza Saga is a strong card in general, but it might even fit into this deck reasonably, but also it might not. In general, it not always does. We have Ether Vial into Giver of Runes. Hand is pretty weak. Because we deploy the Givers and we kinda don't have anything on top of that. So probably we should mulligan towards a hand that does something. The Saltwood one-off does not really accomplish what I would want to accomplish. I'm weak to turn 1 Ragavan. I'm weak to everybody. I think we're gonna move. Now this hand, I can keep 2 Stoneforge Mystics and go for Kaldras and Butter Schools. Can put back a land or put back a Vizier of Remedies. I think I'll put back a land, the Horizon Canopy. There's a reason to keep a land to be able to play 4 lands. If I go first, Stoneforge gets killed, second one gets killed, I can go land into Kaldra. Or the Vizier is gonna be there to help me. Otherwise, if I draw a Devoted Druid, but yeah, my initial reaction when I see a free Ether Vial list is not to assume that the player was cheating, but you could, of course, go that route and think that that is most likely the case. Does seem like we're playing against Berneroni, which my hand does not match up super well. Although we can get Butter School and check my opponent for Searing Place. There's more Vial Arts than that. You can play 4 different ones, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not, maybe there's just 3. There's this, and this. This doesn't exist on model, but yeah, there's enough. It's probably Secret Lair. No, Pro Tour promos. Okay, 2023. What? This card
He's a
only exists as an
phenomenal
artist proof
control
aside from a
player.
few escaped copies. It was originally
Literally
scheduled for
only doing this
distribution in
because it is
2020 during
free.
the
I
competitive
don't
season
actually
cancelled.
support you
Okay.
or this anime-based gameplay that rots our children's brains. Bonus meme. Yee.
Makes sense. So there is an unreleased Ether Vial that you can't get. Remember when Stoneforge Mystic was banned because fetching Battle School was too strong? The few copies that escaped must be expensive then, for sure. The Skullcrack phase, so you're gonna be able to put Battle School into play unless they kill it. Although using a Skullcrack now is a little bit scary because... Okay, they killed the Stoneforge, that's good for me. It's really good for me. So if we fetch Devoted Druid, I don't think we can really get anywhere with that. I think much more reasonable is it to play Stoneforge Mystic. Get... what? Love the Rhino bait on Twitter. Well, I wanted to play Rhinos at first, but then I found this deck. You can also find information about that on twitter.com. But I'm sorry for misguiding you. Actually, not too much sorry. Guess you can take what? Viridian Longbow because we have this, so we draw the Druid. I think it has 0 chance of mattering. Yeah, that was the argument. Stoneforge would completely homogenize all mid-range and nothing else would be worth playing, which... You know, since then we got Modern Horizons 2, but... And to lesser extent 1. Stoneforge was unbanned when Hogak was banned, but... Then the Doomsaying was present for years. I mean, even in the world before MH, I'm having doubts. Alright, let's see if we can get a Battle School hit. This is what this entire game relies on, it seems. We have 3 Barentons, we just sold against Bern. We have not much else. We can board a second Solitude or Nature's Claim to gain life, but it's not reliable. For Horizon Canopy is very painful against Bern. Riftbolt entered the Excel zone, so we lose to a Skullcrack. Such is life though. They did spend a Skullcrack earlier, so I think they're likely to have another one, unless they were not thinking about maybe potentially having a second Stoneforge Mystic. So, worth trying to attack. Alright, we lost. Extremely lame game. Actually, shit, I forgot. I can Eladrami Skull for Burrenton Forstender and not lose. So I threw this game potentially, unless my point was stop decking a burn spell anyways. So hopefully we didn't throw. And let's think as to how to play it. Passport. Seems like there is little chance I don't need Caldra. Salted can gain life. Sanctifier can block an attack. Postmortem launch costs life, so that's a little bit scary to cast, to use. Could use Nature's Claim, Outland Liberator, or the Sanctifiers to block creatures and attack a little bit. We have Skyclave Apparition in the deck. I mean, I think I would prefer to remove an Eidolon if I can. I would think I would like to have an access to a way to destroy the Vortex if they choose to go with that, to block my life gains. I think I cut the launches because they cost life, and I'm going to have one Sanctifier and one Nature's Claim, which I can use on my own stuff to gain life later in the game. Hey Kanye, do you know what you will play at Big Paprika? I don't. Their streamer thoughts on Path to Exile and Pioneer. Probably would be a playable card. Very real downside, so like it is. Exactly like it is in Modern. Well, used to be in Modern. This has lifelink, that's very nice. Let's go Parenton to have a haste creature. Thoughts on PT in Pioneer, but it's not gonna be printed in Pioneer. On the picture that they released, Elspeth is clearly dying, and the fact that in story, Elspeth is clearly dying, it's not getting exiled. Like, in Path to Exile is you send off someone to an exile, which ends the land. And they go to live in that land, like, I don't know. And chill. Let's go Stoneforge for Butter School with the Burrenton. Elspeth has died like 3 times in the lore. Well, she died once on Theros, but what's the other deaths? Right now. But what's the other death? Hi Ken, did you enjoy your weekend in Italy? I did, yeah, it was a good one. But the fact that she's kind of being torn to pieces does not mean that it's gonna be Path to Exile. It's like big reach, bros. Bug. Yeah. It's gonna prevent the preventer. I think I'll go specialist with Burrenton. That seems more powerful than the Butter School. If they for some reason have a way to kill the Butter School, that kind of blows me out. And this is lifelink too. Can be well, sure. So I could have not used the Cool Crack, but also I could have used the Skull Crack. Same thing. I could have not used the Burrenton, but I also could have used the Burrenton, so it's the same thing, really. Are we going to watch the MTG stream at 6 today? Unfortunately not, because I will be finishing the stream before that. What's the stream gonna be about? Do you have a Smash the Smithereens? I get kinda blown out by stuff. Shit. So actually I died this Burn Gamer pretty hard. First previews, okay, so the ones we already seen. Cool.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Nice job
Nice
in Trieste.
job in Trieste, smile.
Thank you. I'm hoping you enjoyed the stream, I guess, as you say, nice job, but we already did. Not sure I could have done much. Probably letting the Stonefudge Mystic die and not sacrificing the Burenton would have ended up being better. It's very weird they targeted the Stonefudge Mystic if they had smashed the Smithereens. I don't understand that. Do you think you were the best caster among all four? The casters have different roles. Like, I can't say I was better than my co-caster Will, right? Because he's doing a different thing than I do. He's presenting, I'm the expert, and I expertly talk about the cards. I can't protect Batterskull by Giver. It can only protect creatures, and Batterskull is an artifact. But what was a weird move that my opponent has done, they lightning bolted the Stonefudge Mystic over the Extraction Specialist. I should have let that go and just keep the Specialist as a lifelinker. Zerg, I don't know, but your question is very, you know, just want to stir things up. Will and you were a very good pair. Lots of fun quips and comments between you two. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. So game 1, I forgot I had Burenton in my deck. And I could have actually survived by fetching a Burenton, play it, and protect myself from the Rift Bolt. And if they don't top deck a burn spell, we actually win, because we get to attack with Batterskull. So I potentially threw game 1, and this I could have played differently. Which yes, that was my opponent playing really weirdly. I think that was a really bad play on their part, but I kinda didn't punish them for that, give a bad play. Or maybe it was a free head play and they kinda tricked me, but I think it was mostly bad play on their part to lightning bolt my Stonefudge Mystic. Assuming they had the Smash the Smithereens in hand already. Who knows? Life sucks. Burn tough. Any funny stories for Trieste? I think all the funny stories were told on stream. Did you have to keep yourself from saying base during commentary? I don't think I've heard you say that word once. No. I did not really have to make a conscious effort not to use the word somehow. I just didn't even come to my mind much. Wonder why they choose not to play Saga in this deck. It might be that it's a good Saga deck. But I think it's the opposite way around. I think you make a conscious choice of... You don't necessarily make a conscious choice of not playing Saga in your deck, rather you make a conscious choice of playing Saga in your deck, so they just didn't. Giver of Runes Mirror. Could be Hammer, could be Death in Texas. They play a Plains from... What set is this? Dragon's Maze? So probably Hammer. That's third Ravnica? Okay. Ravnica Allegiance. In that case, it's more likely to be Death in Texas. They would have drawn a burn spell in game 1. I'm from the alternative future. I understand you. Thank you for letting me know so I don't have to feel bad. To get Kaldra complete. They're probably gonna try to complete me. I think I don't need to cut the Eladrami Skull. Cast the Eladrami Skull. Because I have the Vial. And I might draw either part of the combo in my draw step, and then I'll alter my decision. So go up to 2, something good into my eyebrows. Alright, so that's the mana sink part of the combo. Which is not super. Probably can wait one turn more. Next turn I can crack the Horizon Canopy, see 2 more cards, then decide with Eladrami Skull. Because of the Vial just makes things so much faster. Druid now and 9 outs for Vizier. Well, I could, but I'm not in no rush if I just take 5. They just make the Caldra right? Because I can take another hit. So I'm actually going to wait. Apparition doesn't help. I guess now we're gonna put the Druid into play, having failed to draw either part of the combo. But yeah, not committing this meant that all of my other cards are also outs. Either Vial. Can fetch Stoneforge into own Caldra. I can, but I'm not sure if that is gonna be that good. Especially now if 2 Giver of Runes, they can just get past each other. So I think we're gonna get the Devoted Druid for the combo option. Because Stoneforge into Caldra and they like give protection from block, and I'm like, yeah, sure, bro. So I don't really block their Caldra. We don't die on the next turn either. Although I think we put the Vial to 3. End of turn Solitude, alright. We have 2 Solitudes. Two Solitudes. So we're going to put 2 counters on the Devoted Druid. Now... Got pump to 3 because of this. I actually drew the Vizier. So you still don't seem to die on the next turn, but it's a little bit rough. How did rhinos go? I actually scammed you. I did not play with rhinos. I just started the stream, I found this deck and I was like, oh, let's play it. Goes medium so far, but not sure. We are hyped for the new Planeswalker for this deck. It's a new Planeswalker Tivar. Need to play another color, but yeah. Very nice to have haste for activated abilities, can return the Tivar. Keep it on free. Why did we play Scanners on Druid? Didn't it lower HP we gained? Well, you gain 0 HP if it has 0 power, and you also gain 0 HP if it has minus, if it's not there. So did it lower it? No. Then is there a benefit from the Devoted Druid being in my graveyard? Yes, I have Postmodern Plunge in my deck, so that's why. How have you been in Trieste? At round 3 you passed right in front of me, do you remember? I don't remember passing right in front of a person, but I've been pretty good. Thanks for asking. So unfortunately now we will die to the Caldra. The double Soul Tooth kinda got me. We get Extraction Specialist, Return Devoted Druid. Does that accomplish anything? They give protection from white, I'll die. I play 5 mana Butter School. Only benefit of living in Europe is lots of MTG events. I think Europe is pretty okay. Jump with Lair, it has trample. They have Giver of Runes. I think I'll just hope they won't let me block. That give protection playing around path or something, which they probably don't have a reason to, but... Extraction Specialist looks really nice in this deck. So if they give protection from white, I'll die. Not good. They did. The double salted got me pretty hard. I'm not sure we want to sideboard much against an opponent like this. Salted doesn't seem particularly super. Well, we don't want Burnt and Forged Tender, I guess, because it has no text. So we're gonna want to use Path to Exile instead and probably a Solitude, because those seem at least like real cards. Anything else? Maybe you could use Outland Liberator, Nature's Claim. Claim kinda not good. Liberator maybe better than second Solitude, although not clear. I think I'll go with 2 Solitudes. We have the Apparition to exile like problematic artifact or enchantment if needed. Yeah, let's try it this way. Oh yeah, Haywire Might would be good, yeah. I deck this and Haywire Might would actually work against that, so definitely would play that card. Might want to play Liberator because of some trickery with Eladrami's Call into Ethervial at the end of turn, but that's always sounds like something that you say you do, but not actually something that you do in practice. Haywire Might would be indeed effective against Caldrona. Kind of a punishment here. This is literally the same hand I kept, but with a Horizon Canopy over a Devoted Druid tutor. So I'll mulligan. This seems acceptable. And put back probably Path. Maybe a land, a fetch. Put back a fetch, but this one. So we're gonna play Devoted Druid and threaten a turn free kill. Keeping the land over Path would be better for fetching a Druid again. So maybe that was a consideration, but feels like you can just top deck lands at the top of your deck, but top decking spells is so much harder. Generally speaking, evergreen. Could play Stoneforge Mystic for Kaldra. Maybe that threatens my opponent enough that I need to act. And then I have Devoted Druid afterwards. So they will need to kill 2 things. Let's try that. So I think playing this into this, if any opponent reveals Solitude, it's really blows. This deck seems pretty threat light to me, okay. Don't blame you. Let's put Kaldra. If you had Sagas, you would have more threats, yes, I guess that's something you could do. There's also no Boseiju in this deck, which feels odd not to have a Boseiju. Giver, okay. Wow, they have so many Vials. What would be your life on the line deck currently if you went on the Yellow Hats podcast? I'll probably play the Breach deck with Grinding Station, the one I played and liked a lot, because I haven't stopped liking it, and I know people, it's not necessarily in vogue right now, that way of building a deck, but Just like mixture of cards that I had in this deck. I vibed really well with it, and whenever I played it, I had a good time, and I've been winning. What deck are you already testing for the PT? Question mark. What do you mean? Already testing for the PT? I mean, I've been playing with Lotus Field. I play a league with Rakdos Sacrifice. I liked it. I will probably play a stock deck sorts on the PT. And it might be Lotus, might be Rakdos Sacrifice, might be Rakdos, might be... It probably is not gonna be a deck that I would die from boredom playing. Like Angels, Mono White, Gruul, like just those decks. Even if they're good, if they're super good, I'm just not gonna be interested in playing them. So I'm just playing the decks that are good in Pioneer and trying to do stuff with that. Alright, have removal. You always draft mono creatures in Vintage Cube and then complain about linear creatures deck in Pioneer. In Vintage Cube they have good vibes, and they don't have bitch ephemerate. But in Pioneer they don't have good vibes. I mean, just
He's a
different
phenomenal
thing.
control player.
So it's like, oh yeah, you like
Canny rage,
potatoes
paper
but not
cube,
potatoes, and
hearts.
I'm like, yeah, that's just true. I don't like potatoes, but I like potatoes. So what? Does that seem logically not cohesive to you? Needs to deal combat damage. Yes, I was right in not attacking. I imagine two Germs slashing at each other and they die. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, where the like card just kinda exploded into shreds. How's your voice doing? Well, it's up to you to evaluate that. It's doing good. What was a quick way to combo? Alt to auto mana W. I have enough mana. I can play Viridian Longbow. When reach the Viridian Longbow. And concedes, which is good. We would equip it to the Druid and then shoot opponent on top, shoot opponent on top, shoot opponent on top, shoot opponent on top. Over and over. There's a chance I want to liberate their vials, but I don't know about that. Salted really doesn't seem super great against their Giver of Runes times 4. So I'll have the Liberator. Could also just finally for lethal too. That was an option, yes, but I wanted to use the other one. You have a turn free kill if my opponent has no Solitude, but they always do, so. I'm glad I brought my Outland Liberator, but we have the Skylar Apparition too. But to draw a forest though. As we can't cast the Skyclave Apparition now. Yes! Thank you, bro. So nice. Lol. Thanks. What the heck? What you gonna play now? 1, 2, Apparition. Not nice. So my hand is fairly weak, I guess. Floater, I didn't mean to, I'm sorry. Very lucky draw though. Play lunch card, I do, yes. Otherwise I would not have no reason to do that. We play both the lunch card and extraction specialist. So we want the devoted Druid in the graveyards for sure over there being exiled. There's a new Planeswalker and Firex that could help this deck, I know. Can actually, we'll save this. We're gonna ephemerate. Okay, so we can Solitude Pitch. They give protection from white and ephemerate doesn't resolve. I don't want to get everything die. Cool. Pro white, yeah. Awesome. Okay. So exactly what I wanted happened. So I just lost 3 life by tapping this. Fortunately, we only have 3 basics, so no more basics in the deck. Kind of relevant if we draw Eladrami Skull, we can't fetch. We should equip this and attack with this, that'll be more damage. Yeah, that'll be better. But also this, I want to die to removal. This I want to not die to removal, and this I don't care. Ikanju Castle, okay. Pitch Giver of Runes, the last time I pitched. I'm glad I managed not to shoot my own Vizier of Remedies because I could have almost done that. I've sold it. That's devastating. I think we don't beat that. Can shoot once and then re-equip and shoot another one. That's true, yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. That would be a tiny bit better than what I did here because I'm like... Is this a Rhino stream of O2? I think it might be rebuild this deck to include Urza's Saga because it does seem like Urza's Saga would fit this deck pretty well, decently. If I draw a land now, I'll drop and I'll rebuild to include Urza's Saga. Oh, there is spell, I guess. But you're right, I could have... Shoot the Giver would be better. What's the best here? It probably is actually Battle School. Well, Hammer of Luxor and Devoted Joy is just nonsense. Like, that's not a deck. There's way too many things in a deck. You can't do that. Obviously. So it wasn't great because it's a shit idea, but... But you know. You know how it is. This can go to 4. Okay, it's better to cast or put into play equip. They have a way to remove it, it doesn't matter. They don't have a way to remove it. We can just Stoneforge, put the Battle School into play. Equip it with the longbow immediately. Small lifelink, so I think I don't see a downside of doing it right now. Can make one creature unblockable by black. I guess if I paid for 5 mana, I can chump block the other creature, but it don't die. Prismatic Ending. I think a mono white deck is gonna play Prismatic Ending. I think they won't, but I guess you never know. Okay, Sorcerer Speed, Disenchant, punish me. We have found the answer. Opponent won the match. Let's perform the droppage and let's gonna make a quick poll, new poll. What now? League with Rhinos. League with Druid, but add Saga. Vote. Please no Rhinos, this deck is so boring, I agree. If you were to play Saga in this deck, 22 lands. Are 2 bad decks the only options? I'm going to time you out for being snarky. Just for a second though. What do you even want underneath your Uza Saga? Might definitely, but that's probably in the sideboard. Could run a graveyard hate card. We don't need 4 Temple Garden. It's a little bit weird to play 4 Temple Garden to begin with. Go for Saga, for Horizon Canopy. Probably don't want to play more than really 1 Lair of the Hydra. Not play a little. This deck is so weirdly built. Because you could play Razorverse Ticket too. This deck doesn't, just doesn't. Not at all. It's playing 4 Temple Garden instead, which is like, why? They play against Baron, we die to Baron. Well, no shit. It's 2 planes too? Why do you need 2 planes? Don't you want the full 4 layer the mana sync reliably? Didn't feel like that's the case. Still no Allo in 2023. What's Allo? Obviously the Twitch emote.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Hello Mr. Streamer, thanks for this stream, as Devoted Druid is my pet deck and I am very happy to see you, my
Hey, we don't
favorite
want to play
MTG
Butterschool.
streamer, playing it.
Thank you, Mr. Dactip, for the sub. Very based. You can play an extra Finally or an extra Vial. We only have the Vials and equipments to fetch with the Saga. So 4 Saga is a little bit sketchy. Probably want a 20-second land. Maybe just 3 Sagas. Because we don't have great cards to fetch. Play 1 Might. I don't think main deck it's gonna be too good. It's definitely gonna be in there in the sideboard. Can add a Finally of Devastation and a 21st land. Maybe 22 lands, yeah. Mishad Richard Disc, that's insane to splash that, I think. Hear me out? Well, I'm hearing you out. Sandra Kaplan views worth it. Seems weird. It does seem good to have some, you know, Cascade Hay to tutor in the sideboard, which this deck didn't have. It has Gadok Teague instead, which I don't understand actually. I'm gonna play 2 Lair of the Hydra. And only 2 Razorvesh ticket and an extra fetch land. It's gonna have 22 lines of Urza Saga. Is for Vizier really needed? Maybe it's not in some way. Could have an extra finally over a Vizier. There was indeed the third Lair of the Hydra, so let's go back to the fetch land. White fetch land, we could play Flooded Strand. Alright, in the sideboard we have the Mind. We could actually play more Minds. The Nature's Claim doesn't make any sense. Let's play maybe more Minds. Let's have a 4th Barenton Force Channel versus the Ragavan decks. Sanctifier against Scam makes sense. 2 Orvars. 2 Orvars is a lot. We don't need 2 Orvars. We literally have a tutor in the deck. A commission can buy back Ballista with a +1 counter on it. That's crazy, bro. Did you know that Lightning Bolt can deal 3 damage to Walking Ballista too? Or Endurance can shuffle your opponent's graveyard to the bottom of the library in a random order. I'm pretty sure Orvar does nothing for this deck versus creativity. Why do you think so? It's not a deck where you would want Veil Summer, so it seems like it's probably pretty decent. Sentinel over Forge Tender. I think Sentinel does very little and Barenton Forge Tender does a lot. Right, I think now I like the look of it. Can these just be indestructible doggos? Bros, but have you ever had a person play Ragavan against you? So good if you retaliate with Barenton Forge Tender, so, you know, you just don't want to do a strong thing. You're just like, no, I refuse. I only do shit thing. I want to play the indestructible dog. Kinda cringe. Actually, let's go to 2 Vizier and 4 Saga to have more high impact draws. Yeah, let's do that too. They're gonna have an extra land. But Saga gets to the Luxor anyways, right? So kind of more redundancy on the Vizier, and it's really bad to draw 2 Viziers. Felt like probably something that many Druiders can relate to. Yes, we are cutting a Vizier for a Vizier, but instead of Vizier being a Saga. So maybe sideboarding more bad cards like Leon Sash tutor with Stoneforge Mystic might be okay. It might be okay, yeah. We have so many ways to tutor, so kind of tough to choose the correct bad cards. So this mix looks functional enough for me right now. And let's join again. Maybe we can add Serra Paragon instead of 1X. What's X? Maybe we can, yeah. Sarah Paragon sounds definitely like a card you might add to your deck. Is Giganta viable? With Apparition, finally salted away from Giganta, so it does seem like something you could actually do, yeah. Endurance in the sideboard, Solitude, Sunfire on back. Maybe Kiora for 3 mana to bash for 7 with Luxio, damn. That's a lot. Oh yeah, Ballista does not work with Giganta too. Expedition map to have a way to find Lair of the Hydra when you have infinite mana combo. Well, there is other ways that you can spend infinite mana. You can, for example, use any tutor that fetches Viridian Longbow, or Walking Ballista, or Finally of Devastation. You're not gonna be tutoring for the Lair of the Hydra to do that. We are on the draw of no turn 1 play, but I guess what happens if we keep this? Love Twitch at building decks, yeah, they certainly like to suggest cards. My opponent leads on a creature, unfortunately I don't. Which is a problem. So let's go tapped. Temple Garden. Imagine not having a flying creature to fetch for with finally. Literally doesn't matter. In the slightest. Well, it might matter if you have 6 mana to Chamlog a Murktide Regent, but I guess that's what I would say doesn't really matter. We have the typical Urza Saga thing here, where it's gonna be unjustifiable to spend mana on making constructs on turn 2 and 3. On turn 3 and 4, so... You know, the odds that my opponent will not have a removal spell are slim. Not the best. So I already feel like I lost the game because they have 2 wild Nakatals that fly and Vampiric Tutor every turn. Well, I don't. So I play the Druid, they kill the Druid. I take 6, then play the Specialist. I get the Druid back, they kill the Druid and the Specialist. Take 6. Then I have no place and I die. Yeah, sounds good. So we're not gonna be making constructs, but we might as well just play the Saga. To get... what, Luxor? Or Shadow Spear? Or Vedian Longbow? In case you don't. You know, in case they don't kill my Druid. That feels truly embarrassing to do on the draw, keeping this, and then my opponent does this, and I literally on no outs from turn 2 on before I play my first card. They also kept something with Consider, something that's good enough to keep it price, so... You know. See, Lightning Bolt. Zemo Games, redeem the VIP badge, solid. Congrats on your VIP badge. Unable to add VIP. Why? Okay. I guess. What? 12 damage. What the hell? Alright, you are a VIP. I was able to add you. How are you a VIP with being a 3-month subscriber? How did you get so many points? How did you do that? Just must be very good at gambling. Hmm. Total seems extremely poor against them. You want Barentons because they block Ragavans forever and they do stuff. You want protection from red monsters. And I think I want the endurances. Matches up well against DRCs, and you have to make space for all of that. I don't think I want to cut Giver of Runes because it is a 1-mana play. Can go down to 1 Vizier, yeah. Can go down on Kaldra. Go like Kaldra, finally Vizier. I don't know, a Vial, but Vial seems good to play on turn 1. Those cards should be able to keep them off a little bit, yeah. I think I'll cut Finale here because it seems expensive to cast, and I think we'll cobble something together. Solid. Do you have a Scackle apparition if they grow a big Ledger Shredder? You have Sanctifier and Endurance to bully DRCs. Carry Stun for everything before I finally. Okay. If you had a flying creature, would you also carry it because you are carrying 2 finally? The flying creature thing, I don't understand something about it. There might be some kind of a joke in here that I'm missing, but I really don't get it. This isn't a Rhino stream? It is not. This hand is extremely based. Kind of. But Vial into Urza Saga is kind of a combo. Twitter bait. Chat, don't use Twitter because it's bad for your health. Joke is that you should have a flying creature. It was actually just Skybridge, but I knew all along because of Giganta. Yeah, I knew that. That's why I bought the Endurance. Oh, wow, kurwa, no. Bros. Parenton cringe tender. You spend lots of time thinking about this line because it's really good. Cringe tender instead of force tender, yeah. Pretty funny. No, it is pretty good. Like no cap. We are a bit soft with two-ledger shader with this hand, though. Will I try new Tirvar in this deck? Potentially. Seems okay. I wish I could have a pet chat. Bro, sometimes I wish I could not have a pet, given how much of a gremlin he is, but most of the time he's pretty lovely. How good is a free to lifelink? Endurance right now feels a bit wasteful. Maybe good enough. Although they connive, then 2-4 we don't get past that. Extraction specialist. Oh, we could attack with two. Ała, kurwa, to furku. Could attack with two guys. Then extraction special. Oh. Could also try in a way where we play towards the combo because the beatdowns seem super unlikely to work out. So we're looking to save the extraction specialist. Probably playing endurance prolongs the game the hardest because you can block the ledger shredder. Yeah. Let's do that. And then lets me draw the Druid. Or maybe I just don't even play it now. If they don't attack, I don't really have an incentive to play stuff. Ah, Ostros. Już przyniósł tam jakąś paczkę chłop. Maybe I was supposed to, like, playing this turn makes me think I was supposed to play out the Viridian Longbow last turn. I could get blown the heck out of this game with engineered explosives if I just play out all my stuff. Duża? No taka średnia, mała. Taka w łapie. Okay, now my extraction special is a viable play. Let's have dress down in their deck, makes sense, honestly. Equipped Permanent isn't a planeswalker and is a creature in addition to its other types. Loyalty abilities can still be activated. How crazy is it that you can activate loyalty abilities of creatures? Merfolk stream when? Probably never. Very crazy in your opinion? Yeah, it's super crazy. I think it's insane. They should do something about it. Weird they didn't consider after playing Bird last turn. Are they representing spell pierce? It would appear that that is what they're doing. They want a connive. Because holding up a bolt doesn't accomplish anything, so you'd connive over that, but seems like they want to pierce. Drew all three of my shitty equipments in a row. If I don't play Shadow Spear, they connive. My attack is gonna be really bad. I could play Shadow Spear equip. Even if they play 2 cantrips. Seems okay to me. I'm opening myself to get breached, though, a data breach, but play Endurance next, EOT to play Shadow Spear the following turn. Or maybe. In this way, some pressures achieved. Again, Explosives Giga Blowout. But equipping this with the Shadow Spear is kind of the same as equipping this with Shadow Spear, so. To an extent. And I want the Endurance for a breach. Of course, like, if they play breach now, I will blow myself off. But if they don't, that's good for me. Because the Endurance is gonna be ready to re-blow them. They have explosives in their deck, they probably will find them at some point and then go and explode. They might be playing a breach now. Replay the bubble play. What consider bubble. But out of all things that could happen, that's one of the not that much worrisome things because they're not gating anywhere. More shredders is very scary. Although we still get an attack with the extraction specialist, so. Wow, this cutting lands. It's awesome. What a weird game. You're gonna attack, not even triple block. What is my cat doing? DCR. Are you the reason all my opponents are going to 1-4 Shannon game 1? No. I'm just a guy. Now you're gonna watch me eat a Lindor praline, which I will enjoy greatly. Now seems like a good time to finally deploy my endurance. Any breaches they can have are gonna be weak. Could have also used Parenton and not Endurance, I guess, but Endurance. Also adds the Endurance on board, which seems vaguely threatening for them. What the fuck is this? Hmm. I mean, this is a really bad showing for my opponent this game. They're doing so much stuff and they dying to... Maybe they will not eventually die, but... They're in a super bad spot and didn't do anything the entire game. Seems like they were holding the Hallowed Moonlights. When you play Pepper Magic, do you say, what the fuck is this in your head when the opponent does something weird? Sure. Buka. 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 Nie niszcz mi wszystkiego w domu, co? Nie, I will. By attack with the Extraction Specialist and they trigger Connive, then they can kill my Extraction Specialist. They discard a spells and they Hallowed Moonlight. And then you can use Viridian Longbow to finish off the Shredder. Seems like an acceptable move. The graveyard is full again, I guess. So I guess Breach is gonna be pretty excellent for for them nonetheless. What mischief is Buka up to? Just making things drop from the table. That's all they do, it's all the cats do the entire time. Just pushing objects on the desk ever so slightly so that they are closer to the edge so that they can finally push them off the edge, make them drop the ground, make a noise, walk away. I think they will have a third Hallowed Moonlight, it can't. But my endurance didn't clear the graveyards in the capacity I was hoping for. What's more cringe, cats or anime? I think anime. It's because I'm biased towards my cats and I like them. Hey Kani smiley face. Hello, Da Vinci underscore MTG. Now I can never kill them the fair way, and I guess if they will play Breach, they will get plus 10 cards and they will win. I think endurance would work much better out of a deck with removal spells than out of one that does not have them. I guess. Five longbow pings for the win. I doubt it. Cool lunch. Thanks. Could have protected the endurance, but at this point I'm gonna try to top deck a devoted Druid. And those could just seem like, the stats don't matter on the board anyways anymore. Will I be fetching to thin? Yes. Hey Cancer, how do you feel about this deck? The first 3 matches, the vibes were not good. The vibes were not good at all. Would you prefer this or Rhinos? Well, I think Rhinos is stronger. Rhinos has medium vibes, but winning has good vibes, so I think overall a combination of that would probably mean that Rhinos would have better vibes overall. Can I make you a Rhinos noise? No. Rhino noise at 700 subs. But not attacking with much. Avid Cancer fans know that Rhino sounds have been made on this stream before though, so... Playing it now through the Spell Pierce. They have 10, 11, 13 damages. If we draw a land, I think technically we could win. By going Devoted Druid, kill it, Postmortem Launch, Druid, Cooperative Luxury, Infinite Mana, Viril Longbow. Yeah, I think a land can technically win through no explosives and no other interaction that's problematic. Like Werther would also be problematic. It does seem like they're playing explosives. No, Prismatic Ending, so that means we don't win. What do you think about your opponent's deck? It does seem strong in the matchup. My combo plan does not seem reliable enough to interfere with their cards, and they get to do stuff and can beat the card Ledger Shredder, so well, seems strong. I think it's a fine deck. Yes, they are on Sagaless Breach. I think there's some flaws to that build, but not flaws that my deck is capable of exploiting. We actually drew the land, so that doesn't matter, and I guess I can concede because we got destroyed. I'll give this deck one more chance so we see the vibes through the next match. If we lose the 4th match in a row, I think this will make me not play with Devoted Druid anymore for a while. Going for a cube after this. I currently have no plans of cubing today. Canister, what did you play in the Legacy event? It's a very good question, Derek. First, I have to retaliate with my own question. What is the Legacy event? You mean the Legacy Trieste tournament? I was actually not playing in it because I was one of the commentators during that event, so I was in the so-called booth instead of on the tables. Exactly. In the booth. Parenton not so good against Mono Blue Tron, but Mono Blue Tron is gonna be the ultimate test. What would you play if you were in the booth? Probably Jeskai Station Breach, because I vibed with that deck well and worked for me. Can get Kaldra and clock them. We go Aladrami Skull for the Druid. We're lacking the follow-up, so I think I will do that. Remand, alright. But it is true that the Legacy name is a little bit of a tough one. More than one person came into the stream excited to watch some Legacy. You know, seeing that's modern, actually, a modern tournament, and asking, hey, when will be the Legacy rounds? I want to see Wild Initiative and Delver play cards against each other, and we had to tell them, broskis, unfortunately. Despite the big Legacy in the name of the tournament, it actually has nothing to do with Legacy. Likely North Americans being stupid. I think in this situation you cannot write it off as anyone being stupid, besides the name. Where the vibes on remand. It's pretty good against 2-drops on the play.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Could play Stoneforge. Okadra again. Getting fucking remanded, bros. How many times did I say broskis in the booth? 0. I'm actually capable of controlling my speech, so I was saying mostly the stuff I wanted to say. And I did not use language that would be incomprehensible for the non-Twitch chatters from Canister Twitch.tv. The non-Canister viewers. Thank you, Floop the Banana, for your sub, almost 2 years based. Can't use my Shadow Spear anymore. Maybe we should pronounce Legacy the format English and Legacy the T with an Italian accent. That doesn't help when it's written down. Trinisphere? What the hell? Could kill Cardinal if they play Trinisphere. How bad is that for me? If we let Cardinal live, they grab another card. That for sure is not good. I think the new Tyvar Planeswalker will help the voted Druid. No, I think it would actively hinder the deck and make it worse. We'll just ruin the deck and make it unplayable. They probably grabbed something, yeah, that wasn't Trinisphere, that's true. So Trinisphere was their top choice. That does not seem super good. It's hard to say. Why not equip? Put card 1 and play Stoneforge, because you cannot equip with Karn in play. Going down 16, so soon Death awaits them. They played an Otawara, so they have to have spells in their hand. They also have 2 maps to assemble Tron in 2 turns. That is a little bit dangerous. It did not want to use their Field of Ruin on my Urza Saga. Oh, okay, I guess I can do the draw step. Yeah, it's perfectly logical. Bujajajaj, ki ha posat okves. It's an English stream, chat. I would like to remind you of that once again. What should I... Ah, I misclicked. Alright, they're at 9 life. Let's write it down. I don't think we're gonna win this. Because now they have Tron mana, they have 9, 10, 12 mana, right? So 12 mana of Tron stuff could be Mindslaver you and then make you hate life. Don't think I even have good creatures to fetch, but I think that means we're gonna fetch, well, I guess we can fetch Solitude. This is the Caldra, or you could grab the Devoted Druid and try to win. Let's go Devoted Druid. Sounds the most viable. Well, we also need not to get Mindslaver, but their best play was a Wormcall Legend, so they probably shouldn't have anything too crazy. Why no finally now? What does the finally do? I don't think I had options to do anything too reasonable right now, so that's why I didn't do anything now. Oblivion Stone, okay. Like, what would you do if finally now? X2, fetch what? Fetch what exactly? Got the Oblivion Stone. Will they play around the main needle? No, too bad. So if the Luxor dies, that's a little bit of a problem, but feels like it's okay. Well, if I get Vizier at sorcerer speed, there's no reason to do that. Oh, kurwa. Add mana with Devoted. This card does have Summoning Sickness, so... I think I could have. I can just put Oblivion Stone back on top and have it available on the next turn. I think there's not... no option to do anything. I can... I don't know, equip Caldra. That's pretty shit. That will prompt them to Oblivion Stone though. Maybe. They do not redraw the Oblivion Stone, okay. So you technically have a win available, although my opponent needs not have counter magic in hand. Or repeal or dismembers. Osen, I do not think that, no. In fact, I think it's fine as is. We got countered not only once, but twice. Well, let me play a Viridian Longbow. And probably die. The only way to haste combo is postmortem launch, which I can't cast because I have 1 life. So I think we are in quite a pickle. Opponent's playing Academy Ruins, but I think they're only playing it for fun. They don't actually use it. That's the correct Tron lands. Well, they have the 3 Tron lands they need, yeah. Tower, power plant, and mine. Like, you could have returned Oblivion Stone. Which would prevent my combo always, so... I felt like giving up. Although I could have not give up. Veil of Summer, Haywire Might, Burnt and Fortune, they're not the best. Rest seems okay. At least the miss attack for 5 did not cost us. Kinda. Right, this seems like a keep. We have Lair of the Hydra. Can go Giver. Devoted Druid, Stoneforge for Luxor, and then turn 4 Lair. Kinda slow, it's just not very fast actually. You can also Haywire Might the Expedition map instead. But it's good against Remain and Condescend to play out the Druid now, so I think I'll play the Druid. And it's not like they can turn 3 Tron. Always build a bird. I think this time I actually didn't want to. Can pay for Condescend. Or replay through Remand. Go play the Might now. They did Remand and they like holding up the Remands. It's worse. Yeah, close. Might the map. Okay. I'm going infinite right now. Well, bros, it might just happen that we go infinite. It's crazy to think about, but... Chosen one, okay. I think mono white aggro is its sole deck to play in Pioneer, so it's not very stupid. Some nerds would tell you that's the best deck in Pioneer. I think they're kinda cringe. They tell you that, but... Some will tell you that. Bros, we are hacking comboing. The Lair of the Hydra. Getting in there for 420. I would make 421 mana and I would activate and I would deal 420 damage to my opponent. Maybe I should go 440 damage and then they go to minus 420. And then I would go like smoke weed every day and like the gif of the dancing Snoop Dogg man. Yeah, it feels good. This time we have Luxor, Latrami Skull. I think we can keep with the Vel. Let's hope they don't Biffing Needle my windswept heaps right now. Hey Kaniki, any successful tweets lately? Nothing too out of ordinary, I would say. Such a weird chalice. Am I supposed to hit the map? Then I don't have anything, so I guess I don't. It seems like maybe it was just better to activate the map then, but I guess they made me spend mana weirdly. A lonely Saturday is a successful tweet regardless of engagement. Yeah, that's true. They're just getting thrown. This is not good. Just got off the phone with a friend from China. He collects all the magical line data. He told me that Etron is the best deck in Modern. I believe him. Sure, you do. Can have Karn. Ballista. That's rough. How was commentating Trieste with fellow commentator Skin? I actually do not commentate with Skin. I was, with the pairs are fixed, I always commentated with Will. So, not really all that much interaction between me and Skin, so. Please counter, please counter, please counter, please counter. Please counter, please counter, please counter, please counter. Condescent, yeah, it works. Please counter, bro. No, you didn't counter. What is that we can draw? I don't think there is too much. Yes, this way you can win. Get to cycle the Vels. So I guess they will Remenda. So actually get Might back. You can't Might the Walking Barista, so Maybe they're just gonna remain their contestant. Spell burst. Alright, whatever. One of the regulars of my LGS played this combo, but with Asmo and Rocco. Damn. Well, I can post the link, you can take a look at Asmo and Rocco. I think I get a apparition to get rid of the walking barista. Because I can't win through walking barista otherwise. It's painful, but yeah. For Rocco. I think I've seen this deck. It's pretty interesting. You have Luxor, Varen, that's pretty cool. You have Sagas too, 3 Sagas. With Varen, yeah, I guess. Spellburst wasn't even played in 2006 standard blue Tron. Spellburst is a classic of modern Tron, so I don't know what you're talking about. That was the lock, right? Now that you're being sealed, I can see you have a very nice posture. I actually don't. I am hunching, I guess. At least you cannot sit straight. You have 2 cookbooks only in this deck. 1 Daredevil, which you tutor with Eladrami Skull. That's kind of funny. But yeah, it looks potentially maybe better than what I'm playing right now. Not really big on Rocco though, because it's what, 5 mana, you get a free one, and you get to tutor up a 2-drop of your choice. It's not the worst, but pretty expensive and very very weak to counterspell. I guess the appeal is that you can play it for 3 mana. Get Asmo. So that's the floor. Which is okay. Then there's only 2 books in the Asmo deck, which is kind of low. Oi, oi, oi. 6 power, 4 toughness across 2 bodies and a cookbook for 3 mana sounds pretty decent. Yeah, getting Asmo seems okay actually. For 3 mana. That's a redeeming quality. For sure. They can get back a walking ballista of the Academy ruins. They have plenty of mana, but my constructs are quite large too. Let's get the bow. Attack them for a large amount of damages. Can play around with repeal or whatnot a bit on constructs. Then we're gonna go Devoted Druid. Which means we threaten to combo on the next turn. But of course Ballista can just shoot it twice, but it's another thing that Ballista has to shoot before it focuses on the constructs, which are 6/6/6, so too big. Put Ballista on top, alright. So you have 6, 10, 13, so you have 14 mana, then you have 7/7 Ballista, 2 to Devoted Druid. Still 7/7 Ballista. 2 to the Devoted Druid. Blue-tron players everywhere are waking in a cold sweat. Sure. Seems like they're keeping something up, so maybe they have a repeal on top of the Giver of Runes. Devoted Druid, this isn't 2019. Okay. That seems like two unrelated statements, so thank you for posting them. It's been very insightful. I made some kolachkis last week. Do you know them? You mean kołacz? I know of that, but I don't think I've ever eaten that. No, it exists. And there is a saying, bez pracy nie ma kołaczy. Which means that with no work there is no kołaches. So with no work there is no pleasure. It's actually not always true. No nie. Chłop repeala ma. Well, I could protect the druid and I would die in the upkeep, so no difference. So if they put Ballista on top, then replay it, then they have 6, 12, 13, 14, 7, 7, 7. Just tough. I think this makes sense. Well, it's true I made the cookies. My motivation bringing it up was hearing you pronounce their name. Smiley face, okay. I'm glad for you then. They drew non-ballista. Paused in the draw step, okay. What are you gonna see? Expedition map. Can fetch Otawara. That will bounce my construct, leave me with a Skyclave Apparition. So need something on top of that to survive. Cancer win so much, bros. We have won. Czy wiedziałem, że na arcie ognia schowana jest flaga Polski? Wiedziałem. We actually won, which means my motivation goes up a bunch, and we can play another league match with this deck. Try to vibe with it a little bit more. So opponents fuck up, yeah. That's a good route to victory. This seems like a key because we have a 10-1 Vial. We play against Magic Dan with Giganta. Arid Mesa. Okay. Probably a DCR on the first turn of the game. Ravagan, okay. So we're gonna get hit by Ragavan once, but not twice. We're going to flash Parenton Forced Tanger afterwards. Is there a concern that there are too many pips in the mana cost of our spells for Urza Saga to function reliably as a mana source? There is always that concern if you play colored cards with Urza Saga, yeah. Play white cards, okay. O kurwa, no nie, no byku. Jestem wyjebany. Saga is not great in Druid combo. It has upsides and downsides. But I got absolutely destroyed here. He drew a white source, so a bit less so. So yeah, I was thinking getting hit once or twice is not game over. It turns out it was. I think the Horizon lens would be too good for standard. No, I don't think so, but that's because I don't think about standard. They're unconditional pain lands, they always deal you damage, so they don't seem that good in standard. Okay for aggro decks, like very nice for aggro decks, very bad for mid-range decks.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Hi, Canny, I have a Esper Hero deck for you for Pioneer. Do you want to play it today?
I do not want to play a deck today now. As I think I'll be finishing the stream actually pretty soon. It's gonna be pretty short stream, but I'll come and stream tomorrow, bros. The Rhinos will come tomorrow. But this deck is a little bit depressing to play. Look, sure, I'll get 2 knives to that. If I give knives, I die too early. Thank you very much for the resub though, Mili Pupas. You were actually wrong stating that this deck can only combo hastily via postmortem launch. What are the other options? Seven life, 6 life, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. True, I guess you finally for 10 you can do that. In that case, I apologize for misrepresenting the game state. Alright, this Devoted Druid deck feels a bit depressing to play into real decks. I am finishing my adventure with the Devoted Druid deck. The removal spells are way too strong, Legend Shatter is too strong. There were two almost identical Druid lists at SCG and J this past weekend. I know, I net decked one of those. Both players have been fine-tuning the archetype for years. Seems like they will be having to tune it for years to come though. Some of the new cards are pretty nice, and I really appreciate the Barrenton's main deck, but they didn't end up playing too well. Because we played against non-red decks, and then we also played against the red decks, played it, and it just didn't matter. I like Barrenton Fortuner and Hammer, yeah, I don't hate that in there. Or red removal is popular enough. It's not that great, especially nowadays, right? With the at the exact point of time that we are in, where it is popular to play white splash in your Mertite deck and play Breach. And then you play Endings, and then it's just kinda having even a little bit of removal that deals with it, or deals past it, it's a lot. It's playing Scared Around Monkey. Well, it's not really playing Scared Around Monkey, because you need to have Monkey answers in your deck if you want your deck to be successful in Modern. The decks that don't have Monkey answers just are not successful in Modern, simple as that. You know, it just naturally has been filtered in such a way where even Living End is just fallen to being too weak, because people have turn 1 Ragavan versus it and just doesn't have a good response to that. So Rhinus becomes a Rhinus becomes the de facto Cascade deck, because it actually can play through Ragavan, because you can play 4 Dead Gun. Because we add just the Goldfish 30 days, you know, last 30 days decks average, right? Play a main Extinct Fire, and then what? You're on the draw? Or you play against someone who does not play Ragavan. So yeah, if we add it up, right, on the main page, 14, 15, plus 6, 21. $24, $27, like what, 30% Ragavan, 35. So it's like up to 40% of your opponents are gonna play Ragavan. If you combine all of those decks. This shows Ragavan on this picture too, but some build of Ragavan. Timothy Moore. But Elemental deck will not play Ragavan often. But yeah, like around 40% of your opponents will play Ragavan. Which means that still in majority of the games that you play, game ones that you play, the Barenton will not be active because your opponent will not have the monkey in their deck. Although very often it will be, right? But you know, again, still majority of the times it's actually not. But every deck that gets like the metagame filters the decks in such a way where Ragavans just shapes it all. 40% monkey in modern, still many say modern is fine. Well, Ragavan is definitely shaping the format. TBF, that's goldfish ad hoc analysis. Sure, but does it not match with like reality or your experience? What you know, Chad, you go into a tournament, what percentage of your modern opponents do you expect to play Ragavan against you? You say 30-40%, yeah, that sounds like a good guess. 35% of the decks play 4 Ragavans, yeah. In my opinion, Ragavan isn't the issue with modern. I don't wanna argue though. I'm not stating that there is any issue or the issue. It's just how it is. And it does shape how people play the game and what decks are allowed to be played. There's always something that's gonna shape the metagame, of course. So I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but you know, this deck is not great against Ragavan. Unless you play Barenton, and then Barenton is not necessarily like super excusable, the main deck, so you end up in this very unfortunate spot where you probably end up not playing the deck because people can show up with Ragavan. Oh kurwa. Oh. The top cards overall in Modern right now, we see Lightning Bolt in over half of the decks. Alright, that sounds fair. Could run 3 Esper Sentinel over Barenton. Yes, you could. That makes you worse against Ragavan. Which, again, is what I was speaking about. Is there room in the main deck for a Lightning Greaves for Stoneforge? Yeah, it's certainly a card you could play. It's very expensive though, and the trick is that people can respond to you playing your 2 mana cards with their 1 mana cards. So you will actually, I think rarely you will equip your 2 mana cards onto the Druid. You also cannot equip your Druid anymore once it has Grease, which is kind of awkward. I think forcing early interaction is good for a format generally. Yes, there is an argument for that. It's pretty hard to, from like balance design perspective, kind of hard to balance that. Because like what I don't like is that on the draw it is absolutely unexcusable to use a 2 mana card to answer the Ragavan. So I think if it was possible for a Ragavan to be answered by 2 mana cards on the draw, I would like it much more, but that's very hard to Ragavan should have ward -1. Yeah, like this is something I could like achieve with giving a treasure to the player on the draw, but it's like Weird jump idea. Maybe that's gonna be the big change that Maro hints at. Maybe the player on the draw will get a treasure. Ragwan should give treasures to every player. Interesting. Peacefully made the point a long time ago that if Goblin Guide hits you twice, parents favorite to win the game. How much better is Ragavan than that, really, in terms of a 1-drop? Well, Goblin Guide, yeah, sure. Giving a treasure to play on the draw seems too much for combo decks like Legacy Storm. Yeah, it's hard to balance. Where it encompasses all the game. Because it also doesn't affect everyone, etc. Well, actually, yeah, I'm also not sure if that's true. Because, I don't know, they're still gonna be on the play sometimes. Or I could just make a rule that the player on the draw starts with a treasure and in parentheses unless they play Storm. It's simple. Simple rule, like simple rule fix, and you know, oh, you can't do that. Should not be a treasure, more an emblem to not enable artifact synergy. Yeah, probably also kind of, again, hard to balance with like all the small weird things, and you have elegance versus the potential ripple effects of some, you know, awkward effects of it being an artifact exactly and sticking around, you know. Maybe you'd want the mana to only be available during the fast turn or not. What if the player on the draw can play 2 lands during their fast turn? It's a bit awkward. That kind of makes players start the same. Doesn't that just reverse the issue? Why?
He's a phenomenal control player.
Now the player on the draw has an
Long time
advantage.
no see.
No, but I don't get to make a turn 1 play. So what advantage does the player on the draw have? Thank you for the resub, Frozen Name. Very base, 17-month streak. Very nice to see you here again. Yeah, it does not really reverse the advantage because the issue is you have a Ren and 6. You keep, you're on the draw. Your opponent plays a Ragavan. You fetch a Triumph, you get hit. Ren 6 gets countered. And you can never win again, ever. And that is not a thing that can happen with the changed rule. It's pretty inelegant though, probably, and does not read super well and etc. But and you know, then of course the dredge player in vintage will go bazaar in their vintage game. So if there's always gonna be some ways to just take the rule to the maximum and make it like as perverse as you can, just do wild stuff. Feel like I haven't watched one of your streams in so long. That's probably true. I think that's a good Twitter discussion. I'll ask Twitch chat in the Discord. Do you think Magic would be a better game if the player on the draw could play 2 lands in their first turn? Question mark. And Paul. Yes, no. What if second land play came in tapped always? Why? No, but that defeats the point. Yeah, I really like the alchemy land that comes into play tapped if you were on the play. It's still really good, it gives you a scry. You may untap Fossil and Crossroads instead. Yeah, this is like one of the alchemy cards actually. It's pretty neat. It does some cool stuff. Problem with that land is memory issues on turn 5. Yeah, well, on Arena it's fine because it's highlighted or not. I think it used not to be highlighted, you actually didn't know. Which used to be a problem when I was playing it on Alchemy. But I think at some update they made it highlight to yellow if you were on the play or something. %, no. Interesting. How about play on the draws too? Oh, just drawing too many cards doesn't matter. What if your land just entered tap turn 1 on the play? Yeah, it's effectively kind of the same like to this. This, like, it makes it weird that you build your deck and 1-drops become so much weirder because cards that you want to play on turn 1, like you actually play 2-drops on turn 1 on the draw. It changes, pretty sadly changes so much. That might end up not making much sense in the end. I think we can play 1 Rhinos match before I go today. As I said, short stream, but I'll stream tomorrow. Been in Trieste this weekend. It's a pretty nice trip. We returned yesterday in the evening. As I got some family related news and went back to her hometown for now. I'll be joining her later this week. So this week I'll be streaming on tomorrow and on Thursday. So there's not gonna be Friday, Saturday streams. What if you're on the draw, you get to be on the play instead? That's a good idea. Oh, if you can play a free what in the draw step every game. Damn. Just every turn. If you win only on the play, you get too much points. I wonder what is the win rates in modern play draw for the big data people. For the wizards, knowing the motor stats, how big is play draw? Do they actually know that? Do you think the chess community would agree to getting a treasure token as black? In chess, the black is so much worse than white, and they live with that because they do what? I guess they have the pairing software making so that you play even amount of games with each tournaments. I don't not super much on chess, but I think they do that. Just having draws as an outcome kind of solves the issue, yeah. I bet it's around 55%, but not more, yeah. So if you play a chess tournament, how many games do you play against your opponent? One game. Let's keep the sense. Can't cast Seasoned Pyromancer, and I don't do anything until 1. And I don't have forces, seems excellent. Merfolk's Secret Keeper, damn. We draw a Ragavan answer in Dead Gone. I said the stream is gonna be over, so I will play this one Rhino game and then I'll finish the stream. I think that's what I said, not sure. Maybe I misspoke. Probably will bounce something if we have an opportunity, so I guess we can play the island so that we can fetch forest. I guess I want to be able to play the Seasoned Pyro, so... Ugh. Might just take plenty of damages. For me, it's not so much that being on the play makes you so much more favored, but more that creates even more non-games. You already have Screw, Flood, Mulligan's MTG. Are play draw non-games really something that can be avoided? I'll keep the Barrisan Borrower. I'm not sure, but I think you are arguing in favor of some like potential play draw changes. So I'll say, yeah, I think it would be cool. And I agree with you. Can design around it make good 1-mana interaction. Well, but if you make Ragavans, then at that point only 1-mana interaction is good enough. Or on the play, 2-mana interaction is also good enough, but it's just frustrating because you can't control when you're on the play or versus on the draw. Which I think leads to bad games. When they terminate, they have a Ragavan, and you die horribly because of that. In competitive Heroes 3, you do a bidding war to determine who goes fast. What do you bid? Gold? It's kind of sick. Oh, well, that's obviously a silly suggestion and it's not actually good, but it sounds kind of funny. When I play casual with friends, we do a free move. And we keep medium hands. The honor system does not work in tournaments. Any casuals in the chat? Castile, awesome. Cancer wins, unsurprising. How's becoming men's? It's pretty lethal here, yeah. Good blood on my opponent. I'm not sure how I feel about that. They play some enablers so we could force of negation, but it seems pretty weak. Gonna use endurance for sure. I'm gonna maybe you can blood moon or not. I don't know if becoming men's is all that good. Neither is that gone really. Brazil borrower, maybe something awkward. Seasoned Pyromancer, I'm not sure we're playing this type of a game against my opponent. What we do, Blood on them. I'm on a draw, so it's probably bad, but let's try. Being on a draw solved. Except that my hand sucks. Let's keep it for science though. Can suspend 2 rhinos on turn 1. Can tap the cascade spells and we're gonna rhinos them really hard. If we rhinos them. On turn 5. Oh no, Mr. Crabster, 1 lander, pathetic. Phyrexian Choker. That's my opponent's name. Alright, we won the match. It was very easy. Rhinos indeed seemed better than Devoted Druid as we let my opponent do nothing. We did not let them have any recourse in this game. They just got destroyed, absolutely. Are you more of a dead or more of a gone player? Dead. Have you seen the band control deck from Energy series? Do you think it's good? I have not seen the band control deck. It's probably not good. I had to guess. Band control. Probably some like light splash for 4 endurances that cost green and it's like uncastable. Anyways, I don't really understand the deck list. What do you not understand? Why the band charm? Oh, the band control. Yeah, okay, I remember. Somebody told me, Jendrek told me about a Broker's Charm control list. And he said that he's gonna pay for my pizza. Which we were at the pizza place waiting for the pizza. He said he's gonna pay for my pizza if I list all the mods on Broker's Charm. And I couldn't. So I had to pay myself. I was able to list Destroy Enchantment. +1 power fight, not fight, deal damage. And then I said put a shield counter, but it's obviously draw 2. Because otherwise he wouldn't play that in modern, right? That would be way too bad. Anyways, see you tomorrow, bros. Thank you for hanging out today. Thank you for the resubs, and I am hoping you had a good time so far. And I'll send you over to Yellow Hat playing Pioneer. See you.